What up, viewers? Today is Saturday, March 30th, and as always, I want to talk about some video game news. A couple things happened this week, so I just want to talk about it. This week started off with Apple talking about a whole bunch of stuff that they're coming out with. One of most pressing in my industry is Apple Arcade. I didn't quite get a. I forget if they said it was a subscription service, but they brought out like a bunch of mobile developers. They were talking about how they're bringing like full console games to mobile, which is something I am interested in. But otherwise, they just kind of rapid fired out a bunch of mobile games that are coming to arcade. One of which was Lego Smash Bros. Lego Brawl. Yeah, I think it was called Lego Brawl. They also talked about Oceanhorn. Was Oceanhorn coming to it? Oceanhorn 2 is a very Zelda-esque game. I think that was coming to Apple Arcade. But yeah, Apple's trying to subscriptionize the arcade games on their platform. So yeah, the whole thing didn't really speak to me much because I'm not much of a mobile games player. But I definitely know that this is popular and we'll be looking to do that. Yeah, and that was on Monday. I don't know. Do Apple uh do Apple talks seem very like stiff? Maybe they're like going for like the Steve Jobs, like everything's black except for the one screen. I don't know. I just found it. I feel like as a games, like you want to get people hyped, and that's not what Apple does when they get together and put on presentations. Um, so them talking about games just felt a little stiff. Also, they're investing in magazines, and I don't know if that's a worthwhile investment. Um, but if you want magazines, you can get them. You can get them there too. Next, what that happened on Monday. So on Tuesday, we had the PlayStation Direct. I think it was actually called the PlayStation State of Play. Um, but it was pretty much just like it was very much like an indie showcase. It was PlayStation, a bunch of indie games. I'm trying to think of a couple that stood out, but none really did. Gosh, what came out? Was that the PlayStation? Oh, Ready Set Heroes. That was a pretty cool game. It is a dungeon crawl game. Like you get 10 minutes to do a dungeon crawl. You're playing as like woodland creatures, birds, and squirrels and stuff. You get to do 10 minutes of like dungeon crawl, and then you cut to like a mobile, like a MOBA, kind of a not a MOBA, but like an arena, like a battle arena. Um, yeah, sounds cool. Sounds like a bringing dungeon crawling to the kind of like I don't know, I guess battle arena genre. Seemed pretty cool. And then I don't remember a bunch of the indie titles. I just don't remember. It was a bunch of VR titles. That's right. It was a bunch of VR titles. They had like Iron Man on VR. They had some other game that was already out coming to No Man's Sky was coming to VR. A couple others. But yeah, it was VR focused, so they are still doubling down on VR. And then yeah, they wanted to talk about a bunch of indie games, and then they ended it with more Days Gone stuff because Days Gone launches next month. So yeah, I thought this was gonna be like their counter E3, and if that's what they're going for, they definitely whiffed hard. But if it was just like a PlayStation indie showcase, then sure, they did it. They're investing in VR. You're gonna have more VR content coming, a couple more indie games, and then they talked about Days Gone. I wanted to see Last of Us 2. I wanted to see potentially something about PlayStation 5, but I didn't get any of that in their 20-minute showcase. So yeah, I didn't. I thought this was. I had expectations going into it that were definitely not met. Then last but certainly not least, PAX East started on Wednesday or Thursday with and Gearbox was one of the big showcases there. And Gearbox obviously wanted to talk about Borderlands 3. They had teased the day before a small trailer. They had Randy Pitchford up on the stage. It was definitely a lot of filler and fluff. They went through scene by scene through the teaser, and they showed like a couple codes, couple key codes. are they called? Cash codes, golden cash codes. Yeah, they went through it scene by scene. They also talked that Randy Pitchford did a magic trick for like 20 minutes. That was definitely just filler. They also talked, at least the magic trick was talking about their new board game that's coming, like Tiny Tina's Inventor or Claptrap something or other. Looks like a $20 party game. I'm into board games, and I buy board games a lot of times because of so I'll probably pick it up if it is like. Hope it's sold elsewhere besides PAX East. But yeah, and then they actually showed it. They had a bunch of false starts. They had 20 FPS for like 2 or 3 runs of the trailer, and then you finally got the ultimate top of the line trailer. There was no VO, and there was no VO. They kind of like showed what was happening, and then it was just all about the loot. They were like kept showing like guns falling from the sky. They kept showing people doing wild and crazy things. And this showed off some characters, all of which looked pretty cool. They showed the bad guys, but no one talked. You saw everyone you ever wanted to see in all the games, especially the one I was looking forward to was like there's the guy from Borderlands Telltale. He showed back up. You have Brick and second gen everybody, or Brick is first. I think Brick's from Borderlands 1, and then they showed the second gen people. I didn't see Zero. Zero was my favorite in this. But yeah, they had everybody, the whole cast of characters was all there. That was cool, and then it just kind of ended after showing off all that stuff. Guns that can run, I guess. Yeah, it all left. I would have liked to see a date, but I guarantee you by all of these like technical glitches and stuff that's going on that this game is definitely not coming out this year. So I guess I don't care for a date because it's going to come in 2020 and I'll get something before then. But it still leaves me with a bunch of questions of like, I don't know. These are not questions that they have to answer, but I'm just wondering like what needs to change. If they just did Borderlands 2 with like all the same cast of characters for a current gen console, would that be enough for me? And I don't think so. There's a bunch of negative reaction to it. I don't understand where that's coming from. People thinking that like they aged out of the demographic that they're going for. I don't understand it. Because I enjoyed the trailer. I enjoyed watching. Maybe from a more seasoned, level-headed. I'm not like super hyped. I say super excited all the time. I'm not like super hyped because I would have liked to see a date. But I am excited that this game's coming. I knew it was coming, so finally confirmation that it's coming is awesome. But yeah, I'm just left with like, what needs to change? What needs to, now that we have like more, Borderlands was ahead of its time in the looter shooter genre, and now that we've had a couple more, like what needs to change in order to like keep up with the innovations that have been happening? Tighter shooting mechanics, maybe. I bet if I played Borderlands 2, it would feel like slow and lofty, at least, or floaty as far as shooting goes. I know we'll have over-the-top ridiculous characters and abilities, which is awesome. Endgame, I brought this up like 2 weeks ago. Like, what I don't remember a lot of like the end game, and I'm definitely going to need that going into this next looter shooter, like what the end game is going to be like. RPG mechanics, I always think that Borderlands has had very good RPG mechanics, so I don't know how much more depth they can add to that without it being cool, without it being like too much or over the top. But yeah, I'm just curious as to what needs to change. What about Borderlands 2 needs to be changed in order to bring it to Borderlands 3 to make it feel new and fresh and exciting, because it has been a while. So yeah, if you have any thoughts or comments, feel free to comment below and tell me about what you think needs to change in the upcoming Borderlands game in order to feel modern, I guess. Next, there's a new Zelda game on the horizon being made by the studio that makes Xenoblade. I haven't played too many of the Xenoblade games. I've been told that I might like them because of the RPG mechanics and the kind of fighting. I like turn-based strategies. I don't remember if Xenoblade is turn-based or not. But yeah, new Zelda games are always cool. I want more. I want them all. Every time I see a Zelda thing, you know I'm talking about it because I love Zelda. I love Zelda games. I love them all. I can't wait for Cadence of Hyrule. I can't wait for the up-res of Link's Awakening. I want more games to play on my Switch. So yes, I'm looking forward to the new Zelda game. But if all I have is, you know, it's being created by the Xenoblade guys, or people, then you know, I know it's far away. But I am excited for more Zelda games. Next, there was another IP near and dear to my heart. Lord of the Rings is having another game in that IP is coming out, and it's gonna follow the story of Gollum. I don't know, you know, I read all the books. I'm currently reading Children of Húrin. Yeah, I love all the IP. I love all the characters. Following Gollum, it's gonna be an interesting story. He showed up in the Shadows of Mordor and War games. We know his entire story from the beginning of Fellowship all the way to the end. I guess we don't know how too much about how he escapes Mordor after being tortured and sending him towards Baggins. But yeah, it feels weird. I don't know how I feel. Like, I don't see Gollum as a pity character or something like that. I just see him as a bad guy. So like following him would feel weird. He would just be following a bad guy. I don't know. They got a lot to sell me on. It's made by Daedric Daedalic. I don't remember what the studio is. I've heard of a couple of their games, but yeah, hope they knock it out of the park. I always want to see Lord of the Rings games. It's an awesome IP with a lot of depth, so I always love seeing content for that. Next, we had a trailer featuring Bruce Campbell, which was awesome. Bruce Campbell, who plays Ash Williams in the Evil Dead series and Army of Darkness. And he is going to be a playable survivor in Dead by Daylight, another game that I love. So that should be awesome, playing as Ash Williams, having him running around. I wonder what his abilities are. I wonder how his gauntlet hand works. Yeah, I wonder what his abilities are in the game. Yeah, it should be fun. I might actually... I don't know what their DLC plan has been, if it's all just been like $5 DLC on top of the $20 game, but I might play it just so I can get some Ash Williams out. But yeah, so that's happening. Dead by Daylight, check it out. Tell me what you think of playing as Ash Williams. And then last but certainly not least, Twitch Prime is doing something pretty awesome. I think they're giving away 3 months. I've already done it. They're giving away 3 months of Nintendo Online. So if you link your Twitch Prime account to your Nintendo account, like 3 or 4 button clicks, and then you've got yourself 3 months of Nintendo Online. So that'll save you. I'm currently on the $4 a month subscription, whereas I should be buying the 12-month subscription. But yeah, there's 3 free months. So check it out in the link below. Tell me if you link your Twitch Prime and Nintendo account. But cool. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll be submitting this to YouTube right after this, so check me out there. A thumbs up and a subscribe goes a long way. And then if you're watching this on my Twitch channel, a follow and a subscribe on Twitch goes very, very long way. I've got emotes and all that cool stuff now, so hopefully you subscribe. But check me out. Hope you enjoy it. Talk to me down below. Links down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.